Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching me from. My name is Kelvin Piri, and I am so excited once again to be back here to present to you this series that I've been running, How to Build in Zambia, Africa while living in the diaspora. I live in the diaspora myself, and I have been living in the diaspora for quite some time, but I am so passionate about construction. Hey, the fact that I am actually in the construction industry with so many years of experience working as a quantity surveyor, and I want to share all the knowledge, everything that I've learned to actually successfully deliver a project back home. Home, there's no place like home. So before I crack on and just share what I want to show you today, please remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and smack that bell. And hey, why not share the videos that we have? We would love to get to 1,000 subscribers. If you find the content that we have, why not share with members of your community? That will go a long way. And hey, that will motivate us, me, to find more content that will indeed encourage you to do the projects back home. And if you have any questions, please remember, I am here. Anything to do with construction, anything to do with what we are talking about, I am here to help you. Get in touch, or if you have any questions, drop me a comment in the comment section and I will definitely respond to you. And finally, before I crack on, I keep on saying crack on, to those people that have already subscribed, thank you very much, and I do appreciate being part of this community. And to everyone that has so far commented, those who have given me a call, that is indeed much appreciated, and I really do feel privileged to be part of this community. But let's now get on to what I wanted to share with you today. So now, I came across many months ago, to be precise, on the 29th of May last year, I started consistently sharing videos about Africa, investing in Africa, and then of course the start of How to Build in Zambia, Africa series. And so last year when I started series, I talked about Africa, and I talked about truth be told, and I shared about the fact that when you are in the diaspora, when you are in the West, the media has fed us people that are living in the diaspora and in the West a very different picture of what Africa is. And I talked about the truth and the fact that Africa is home to countries that are actually performing well in terms of growth economically. And there's so many things that we can talk about Africa. So I came across this video and I thought, why not share this video with my brothers and sisters? So this is about misconceptions, myths that are there in the West about Africa. And sometimes if we're not careful ourselves, we can start believing these myths and start thinking to ourselves, I can't go and build it back home because of Africa is this and all that, even when we've actually lived in Africa. But remember, we, the community in the diaspora, it is our responsibility to change the narrative. So here is a video about some of the myth and some of the truth being told. I will come back at the end of this video and just share my insight.
Africa is poor and unsafe to live. This is one of the most common misconceptions people have about living in Africa. The truth is, it's not your fault. Over the years, Western media has shown negative images and focused on the poorest and most isolated regions in Africa. This is driven by cultural and political biases and business interests. Of course, there are poor and underdeveloped regions in Africa. But in reality, Africa is a relatively comfortable place to live. It is home to over 50 different countries and has some of the best urban cities. To see how this continent really is, it is important to challenge the dominant framework posed by the media and look at Africa from a different perspective. That's why it is best to experience things and see for yourself. Today we will help you debunk all the popular myths about this culturally rich and stunning continent. Myth number 1. Africa has no big cities, only land. Africa has the fastest urban growth in the globe. Actually look like Nairobi is the capital city of Kenya and one of the fastest growing cities on the continent. It is a well-designed area with a unique mix of modernity and tradition. The bustling city has a wide range of accommodations that cater to every budget and a great nightlife. One of the most interesting places to visit is the Nairobi skyline, with modern buildings and skyscrapers. The Central District also has modern commercial buildings, towers, and favored venues for exhibitions, events, seminars, and conferences. Still not convinced? Nairobi has the largest retail center in sub-Saharan Africa. The Two Rivers Mall is a shopping mall that houses more than 200 stores. It has both international and local fashion brands, making it a popular destination for shopping and entertainment. Lagos is a huge financial center and the cultural and entertainment capital of Africa. It is also the most exclusive city to live in. It is a densely populated area with busy streets and some serious traffic jams. The truth is, it is not just the skyscrapers and amazing buildings that make Lagos a popular place to live in, but the job opportunities as well. This city is surrounded by water bodies, which means it gets access to some remarkable beaches and tourist attractions. Many multinational companies have branch offices here. It is also home to several high net worth individuals. Some of the top multinational companies that have offices in Lagos are Google Technology Multinational and Shell Petroleum Development Company. So, if you're looking for a city that tunes in with the modern world, Lagos is the place to be. Tunis is the biggest city and the capital of Tunisia. This modern metropolis is full of surprises. On one side, there are many ancient buildings and cultural centers that showcase the real richness of the history of this place. But on the other side, you can see picturesque buildings, apartments, popular venues, and tourist destinations with modern quarters, like the iconic Atratin office building, which was recently completed in Tunisia. This type of architecture specializes in contemporary projects, creating a glass construction with distinctive features that fit perfectly in a modern city. Myth number 2. Cities in Africa are dirty and dangerous. Africa has some of the greenest and cleanest cities. Cape Town is the continent's greenest city and plans to become greener and more sustainable. Nairobi, Cairo, Johannesburg, Kinshasa, and Lagos are also among the best in terms of ecological transition and environmental practices. This is something several cities in America and Europe lack. Although crime is a major socio-economic problem because of labor surplus and uneven distribution of power and wealth, this is common in other continents as well. Myth number 3. People in Africa are uneducated. Africa has some of the best universities in the world. Here, people can get a high-quality education. Take the University of Cape Town, for example. It is ranked number 125th in the best global universities. That means it is in the top 300 of the global rankings. Other top-quality educational centers include the University of Witwatersrand, Stellenbosch University, University of Ibadan, Cairo University, and more. Based on recent statistics, Africa's current primary school enrollment rate is over 80%. The African continent has seen some of the highest increases in elementary school enrollment in the last couple of decades. Although, not everyone ends up going to college. There are plenty of people with a college degree. Myth number 4. People who live in Africa have no access to modern technology. Today, around 20 to 22 million people in South Africa are using smartphones. This accounts for roughly 1/3 of the country's population. Samsung is the most popular brand in the region, accounting for over 40% of the purchased devices. Nigeria is another country with a huge smartphone user base. Nigeria is at the top of the list of African countries with the biggest number of mobile phones. Mobile technologies and services continue to fuel the region's economy, but they are not the only technologies that are available on the continent. Egypt is also seen as a forerunner in digital media. According to statistics, revenue in the digital media market in Egypt is estimated to reach $1,165,000 in 2023. The biggest segment in the market is video games, with an estimated volume of $692 million in 2023. Myth number 5. Africa is sunny, dry, and hot all of the time. Africa is a diverse continent with different temperatures and landscapes. The regions located on the equator receive the most solar heat than any other area on the planet. Since the equator cuts across the center of the African continent, it makes Africa the most tropical continent in the world. But the rest of Africa lies south and north of the equator, so it is normal for countries to have rainfall, mild moist winters, and dry summers. For example, Cape Town in South Africa has a Mediterranean climate with dry summers and rainy winters. For many, the Mediterranean climate is an optimal climate to live in. It is not as hot as in the desert, nor too cold in some other regions of the globe. Nigeria, on the other hand, has 3 distinct climate zones. In the south, there is a tropical monsoon climate. Most central regions have a tropical savanna climate. In the north, has a semi-arid and Sahelian hot climate. So, even if it gets very warm, you can pop the aircon and call it a day. Myth number 6. Africa is poor. Africa is rich in natural resources. They range from natural gas to water, yes water, wildlife, forests, and minerals. This continent holds a major portion of the natural resources in the world, both non-renewables and renewables. Data shows that this continent contains 30% of the world's mineral reserves, 12% of oil reserves, and 8% of natural gas. It has up to 90% of its platinum and chromium, and 40% of the world's gold. The land offers plenty of resources. The only problem is that many of these resources are used unsustainably or go through illegal activities. For example, Africa loses billions of dollars every year of its natural capital through illegal mining, logging, and wildlife trade. Overall, the continent has a lot to gain if it were to pull and harness the vast natural resources together and use them for the region's development. It could be one of the most sustainable and self-reliant continents on the globe. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Africa has a ton of beautiful places and modern buildings. Hopefully, this video gave you a little insight into the true beauty of the African continent.
Hey, I hope you've enjoyed watching that video just like I did. You know what? It has some interesting truth, and I don't think I have much to say about what some of those truths that have been shown in there. I mean, cities like Nairobi, when you go to Nigeria, some of the cities, and of course South Africa, Joburg, and of course Cape Town. These are just some of the few cities that are in Africa. Africa is buzzing with all kinds of activities. And I would say to whoever is watching and possibly has come across this video, please visit Africa. And hey, for those who are in the diaspora, like myself, let's go back to Africa and invest in Africa. I just came across a very interesting truth about Zambia's population. Now, 20 years ago when I left Zambia, and I've said this in that video as well, the population was about 8 million. The population of Zambia right now is about possibly maybe about close to about 19 million people. So it has actually doubled within that period. Now, the population of Africa is set to double by 2050. Hey, if you're looking at investing in Africa and if you buy land, I keep on talking about buying land, you will never go wrong. Hey, if you look at the population of Zambia again, an estimate by 2030, the population of Zambia will be about 37 million. Hey, that's really big growth. And most of the people that are just like in that video, most of these a huge population of Africans who actually be looking for accommodation in urban areas. This is the time to invest, and I advise you, let's not wait. Go for it. If you have an opportunity, go for it and invest back home in property market. You will never go wrong, and you will indeed leave a legacy for your children. If you have enjoyed this video, please remember to hit that like button and smack that bell. All right, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video. God bless you.